Yo, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, also known as Crypto. Bringing you guys another video, and today I have my EBT bracket run. So if you guys were not around to watch the EBT pool play matches, make sure to do that beforehand, as we had some really tight matches. We went 2-1 in the pool play and barely snuck into brackets, so that was nice there. And right off the bat, we are playing LeBurb, known as Sprawls in the EBT. He is the commissioner of the EBT, so right off the bat we get to play the commissioner, which is really cool, but at the same time it's like definitely want to show up here because this could be a big match and maybe get into the EBT or just even advancing farther in brackets, as I really want to try to win this tournament. So we'll see what we can do. As you can see the teams to the right side, he's got the triple weather core, which is absolutely terrifying. It may not seem like the best, but it is so hard to prep for, and he's made it to brackets with his team, so it's nothing to mess around with. So one thing I am very surprised about, he did not bring the Sun Core with Volcania, or not Volcania, but with Victory Bell and the Torkoal. The reason being, I think, is probably my Volcanion, which is what I meant to say. As I did bring in the Assault Vest Volcanion mainly to deal with that, but it does have a little bit meaning to it this match, as we can kind of check the what's your name, Kingdra, and the Pelipper somewhat. So as long as it's not like a Dragon Dance Kingdra, we're good there. And overall, I'm pretty okay with the team I brought. The Greninja is a Choice Specs modest variant, so this thing can absolutely destroy what he's brought in. As I believe it 2-hit KOs everything with Hydro Pump outside, or 2-hit KOs or OHKOs everything with Hydro Pump outside of Kingdra. So that's nice there. And the Zygarde is a pretty nice set this week. It is a bulky Dragon Dance set, like a very bulky Dragon Dance set with like very little attack and I think it has like 0 speed. They have like 8 or something, but mainly HP and defense in there with a little bit of Spadef. So that's a very nice set there for this matchup. As I can definitely put in some work with it. Mellow Ninetales, I don't think it's a Royale because he has triple weather, so that's definitely something I didn't want to really rely on this game, as I think it's mainly brought it to kind of mess up his weather, which is definitely going to come in handy this game, as you'll see. The Uxie is a Stealth Rock lead with a Colbur Berry to deal with the Tyranitar potential lead, but I really do want to get my rocks up to prevent the Pelipper from coming in and out over and over. So that's something I need to watch out for with it. The Uxie have an Energy Ball and Thunderbolt for nice coverage for like things like the Pelipper and the Mega Swampert and such. So that's nice there. The Mega Scizor set is a very bulky defensive set. I was a little scared about the Stoutland coming into this game, but my Zygarde and Scizor should be able to check it pretty decently, as the Excadrill actually serves a little bit more of a threat to me, I feel. As if my Mega Scizor gets chipped down as well as my Zygarde, that thing can kind of just clean my team, so I need to watch out for that. But anyways, Mega Scizor set has like Bullet Punch. I can't remember if it's SD or not, but it's like Bullet Punch, U-turn. I don't think it'd be SD. Bullet Punch, U-turn, something else. But it's been a while since I've done this battle, so I can't remember everything. Like I said, the Volcanion set is an Assault Vest variant, which is pretty nice, and then the Greninja, like I talked about, the Choice Specs modest variant, which you can absolutely destroy if played properly. So let me go ahead and get these teams off the screen for you. And yeah, coming into this, I think I led with my Uxie. Played a mock or two with up against this team, and I led with Uxie, as Tyranitar actually wasn't the lead. I think it was Pelipper, but I was able to get up my rocks pretty freely. And even if Tyranitar does decide to lead, then I still can't get up my rocks, so that's nice there. Music is off. I'll put this on normal speed, and let's get into it. But like I said, I'm actually gonna leave with my Greninja. Like I said, it's been a while, so I guess I didn't want to get my rocks up right away, but right here, just in case it's like a Choice Scarf, Pelipper, and he wants a U-turn or just Hurricane straight up, I am just going to preserve this right away, and I believe go into my Uxie. So Uxie can take a hit from this, as it just throws up a Toxic, which is fine by me, as I can go ahead and get my rocks up right here, nice and dandy. Just going to throw up my rocks, as he does have a way, or 2 ways of getting rid of it: Defog, Pelipper, and Rapid Spin Excadrill, which is likely you could have one of those, but I don't know. As T-Tar comes in right here, I was a little scared about Pursuit Trap, but I can get out of there because of my Colbur Berry, and it was definitely useful to save my Uxie so I can get off in potential Thunderbolt on the Pelipper later in the game. As I am just going to pull a switch into my Scizor right here, as this can check this thing pretty nicely, unless he's like special with Flamethrower and such, which definitely could be a problem. Right here, I'm going to U-turn, and I did creep for a Tyranitar creeping a Mega Scizor with no speed, so I think that came in handy right there. I'm pretty sure if he was running a little bit of speed, but nonetheless, we do switch out right here into our defensive Zygarde, as this isn't really a necessary win con for us this week, or this game, I should say again. But it's just nice overall, because it's defensive and can pretty much take any hit from this guy, I think at least. As he shows the Flamethrower right here, so after showing the Flamethrower, I'm like, okay, he's probably got Ice Beam on deck. So right here, I am just going to click Substitute to kind of scout out for the Ice Beam. And he does go for the Ice Beam. Right here, I was really debating on going into Scizor, but had he just clicked Flamethrower, my Scizor was dead, and I lose Scizor for a potential XP draw Stoutland checks, so that's very risky there. So I am just going to click the 1000 Arrows right here, stay in on a potential Ice Beam that could knock me out, but 1000 Arrows should be able to knock him out, barring he's not Chople, or not Chople, but Shuka. As you're going to see here, we do fire off the 1000 Arrows, and he is in fact Shuka, and that is going to save him right there, and he does throw off a Ice Beam, so we live on 3%. And because we are a ground type, of course, oh well, the sand subsides. I was going to say we live with the sandstorm, but the sandstorm is going to subside and we can live that, which is nice. And T-Tar gets no form of priority that I know of, so I am just free to throw off another 1000 arrows, as if he wants to go into anything right here, it is going to be taking a nice chunk from the 1000 arrows. So he does go into Laburb the Pelipper, which is fine by me. I can chip this thing down very, very low, get it almost dead, which is what I want. Right here, I had no idea if I was faster or not. I believe I switch out once again. We'll have to see. I can't remember exactly. I might go into my Uxie. Do I double out right here? He's going to pull a switch into a Swampert. I can't remember what I do. I think I just throw up another 1000 arrows. I was basically sacking the Zygarde at this point. But he goes into Swampert right away, so pretty fair play. I guess that kind of tells me his Pelipper is pretty slow, which is good to know for like maybe Uxie might be able to speed it then, because I think my Uxie was running more speed than my Zygarde this game. Can't remember exactly, but Swampert's going to come in, so I think I do save this now. I go into my Mega Scizor thinking I can check this thing pretty nicely, as I still am at full health. Can roost up whatever he wants to do. Figure out what kind of damage I'm dealing with, adamant and whatnot. He throws out the Earthquake right there. I believe, based off the damage, he is adamant, in fact. And no reason for him not to be, you know. Adamant in the rain can outspeed my whole team, which is, you know, fair. Outside of like a Choice Scarf Greninja. But he's going to give me very low with the Waterfall. Luckily, I do click Roost right here, so I'm going to get a little bit over that. And I'm just going to click the Roost one more time as he shows the Power Punch. Now, this is something I definitely accounted for. But my main goal is right here was to stall at the rain turns, as Mega Scizor was going to be nice to check the Stoutland later in the game. I do realize that. I do kind of just have to play around with the weather turns and see what I can do there. But as you can see, the Mega Swampert is going to just stay in. I'm just going to click Roost, and he's going to go for the Waterfall. Get me really low, so basically at this point I'm just sacking off my Scizor. So I'm just going to throw off Superpower that does the most to him. I didn't want to click U-turn and let something else get hit, so I was just going to click that. Go into my Uxie right here. What I expect to be Earthquake, just in case he thought I might go into a potential Volcanion, I guess, to stall the turn. But I thought Earthquake was a play he might make, so I just stalled another turn right there, which is nice. Waterfall is a roll to kill me here, I believe. He goes for that and does knock me out, so I don't know if that mattered with the attack boost he got. But the rain is going to end right there. Uxie's dead. I'm just going to bring out the hail right here, and I believe I just throw up a freeze dry, as I can basically pick up a kill right here. He does go into the T-Tar, basically sacking off, which is fine with me because this is the last you'll see of his sand, so that's good there. Knock him out. I am Life Orb, so that was something to keep in mind. I did not remember the set exactly. But Life Orb plus sand is going to chip me down pretty nicely, with the rocks too, especially as this threat comes in. So this is the time where I need to start doing some sacking. As I believe I sacked my Mega Scizor? Yeah, I sacked my Mega Scizor right here. As long as we can get rid of these sand turns properly, then we can deal with this sand core, I believe. Greninja definitely can. As we're going to go into our Alolan Ninetales right here, reset the hail, and because I want to save my Alolan Ninetales for the rain core he has in the back, you know, so I can reset the hail once again. I can come in on one more time on rocks, so that's what I'm planning to do. As I'm just going to sack off my Zygarde. It is a lot of sacking right here, so it is putting me at a very bad disadvantage Pokemon-wise, but I think it is the proper play at this point, just because of the way his weather is making me play. But at this point, I go into my Greninja, and this is what I mean by this thing literally destroys his team. I just click Hydro Pump right here. He shows a Pastio Berry, which actually scared me a lot. But even with the Pastio, Choice Specs, Modest just still blows him back. I believe it still does like 120 mint or something like that, maybe. I'm not sure, but brings in the Stoutland right here. And as you're going to see right here, we throw off the Hydro Pump, and we actually crit him. During battle, I think he thought it was a pretty big deal I crit him, being a certain set. I don't remember exactly his EVs and whatnot, but I believe it was AV. But Hydro, with our specs and models right there, still was able to knock him out, so I don't believe the crit mattered, but if it did in any shape or fashion or whatever, then I do apologize for that. But right here, I think he actually makes a misplay, because he still potentially had a chance to win this game. Had he went Kingdra first, I could not have knocked him out with the Hydro Pump right there. I guess he didn't know I was Scarfed or whatnot, so I could have potentially gotten his Kingdra really weak or knocked it out. So he went into his Pelipper first, which does in fact make is a little bit of a misplay right here, because I have my Ninetales to reset the weather again. So I'm going to knock out his Pelipper right here with the Hydro Pump, which is good for me, as Mega Swampert's going to come out. Right here, I obviously don't want to stand and die, so I am just going to switch out into my Alolan Ninetales, reset the hail, because like I said, I can live the Stealth Rocks one more time. He's just going to click Earthquake right there. knocking my little Ninetales. I go right back into my Greninja, and I lock myself in a Grass Knot at this point because it does about 60% to the Kingdra in the back and definitely knocks up the Mega Swampert. Puts the Kingdra in range of any one attack from my Volcanion, which is ultimately the goal. And as you're going to see, the Kingdra does in fact come out. Gonna take the chip from the rocks. As long as he's not like a Dragon Dance variant, I think we're good. Yeah, I think Dragon Dance would be the only way you could beat right here. But yeah, it does knock out my Greninja with the Draco. Special attack drop does really help me right here. If he gets a crit Draco on my Volcanion set, then I believe I'm dead. Don't know with my Assault Vest variant. As you're gonna see right here, the Draco does about 29%, so a crit without the drop right there probably would have knocked me out. So yeah, that's that. So that was definitely a scary, scary game as we barely pull this one out 1-0 against Frolls. Very fun match. I have to say it was a fun match indeed. Triple weather, prepping for that, especially in 8 mons, is not fun at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it, and we're gonna move on to our next round of 16 right here. All right, guys, we're back, and as you can see, we are up against Vancify in round of 16 of the EBT tourney. And you can see both of our teams on the right side again. Once again, you can know mine, and you can see his right there. As he had some huge stress on this team, man. One of the things I was a little bit surprised that he didn't bring, and I was very glad, was the Azumarill, as I definitely prepped a ton for that. It was something I probably over-prepped for a little bit, if anything. But this is the matchup you see. The Volcanion set is a no-item Volcanion with a good amount of physical bulk, and overall has a good amount of special attack to be able to OHKO certain things, I believe. But yeah, the reason for no item and a good amount of physical bulk is to check the Azumarill, as knockoff would really be his only thing to hit me. So if he was like a choice, if he was like a choice banded Azumarill with a knockoff on the switch, if I went to Volcanion, that'd do about 50%. And if he had rocks up, that would put me in range of another one. So that's not something I want to risk. With no item, knockoff only does like 35 to me, and then if I come on rocks, I can definitely live another hit and at least do something back. So that was the plan there, as Volcanion can definitely put in work against the Azumarill, which he doesn't even bring. So this Volcanion set is a little bit less important, as it's still nice because it can obviously take fire hits from the Rotom if he has like a Specs or Scarf variant, which I definitely don't think he will be. I think he's gonna be like a defensive variant to deal with my Thundurus pretty nicely, and my Scizor, as well as my Scizor can't really touch it. My Greninja set is a really cool Greninja set. It's a work up 3 attacks with Hydro Pump, Dark Pulse, and Gunk Shot, I believe. Gunk Shot to deal with the Shaman and potential Azu bring, which you did not bring. As you can see, we have the Ninetales. It's Aurora Veil variant. This time around, this is like one of the very few games I get Aurora Veil, if I believe. If I even do. I hope I do. I can't remember, but I think we're Nasty Plot. We're actually Nasty Plot, Hidden Power Water, and Moonblast, which is kind of weird that we are Hidden Power Water, but it is something I kind of just want to use to chip down a potential Rotom Heat if I have to, because Thundurus is, a pain for that. Or Thundurus has trouble with the Rotom Heat in the way, so that's something. But yeah, the Shaman's definitely gonna be a big problem. I know that's not gonna be fun to deal with. My Thundurus set is a Dark EMZ. It's a Dark EMZ with Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt, Agility, Nasty Plot. So I thought the only reason I didn't bring Sludge Wave over Dark Pulse was because of the potential Lando Eye he had a potential to bring, so that kind of just checked off my Thundurus, which I didn't want to be a case. And I kind of need Thundurus this week as a potential win con, because it had a good matchup against parts of his team, but like stuff like the Rotom Heat was troublesome, the Latios, so I had to bring something like Dark Pulse, which was it was pretty nice in this game, you'll see. But then next on the squad we have a Stealth Rock. It's a Stealth Rock it's a Stealth Rock like Earthquake Roar set with my Donphan. It's a pretty bulky set in general just to deal with Immune Shell. I thought I'd bring a Rocky Helmet, but I ultimately just needed the leftovers more. Donphan and Mega Scizor don't have great matchups with like things like the Rotom Heat, Shaman, and Skarmory around. Skarmory is a really big pain in my team. Well, at least getting up my hazards. Either my Uxie or Donphan was gonna have trouble getting up hazards against the Skarmory. As you'll see, this thing is a pretty big pain in this game. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get into the match. I believe my plan right here was to lead with my Greninja, as it had a pretty good matchup against the majority of his team outside of the Shaman. Right here, you'll see that he leads with the Skarmory, we lead with the Greninja. Right here, I'm just going to fire off a safe Hydro Pump, figure out what his main switch into this is, as he's just going to go to Shaman. I do miss right there, which is actually pretty unfortunate, because I wanted to scout out the damage right away, figure out what kind of Shaman set this is. But the reason he just brings it in right away, I mean, I didn't expect him to have any other switch in besides maybe like trying to make an aggressive switch into Latios, which wouldn't really make any sense because I was close to clicking Dark Pulse right there. But yeah, we missed the Hydra right there, which is basically unfortunate for us. I'm just going to make the pretty easy switch into my Mega Scizor, as I thought he had the chance to click Hidden Power Fire right there if you want to make a really early game aggressive play, but I figured he probably wouldn't, and this play right here would give me a lot of momentum if he went for Seed Flare, which you're going to see he does. Gets off 10%, and he's just going to pull a switch into a Skarmory right here, as I believe I click U-turn. I click U-turn, build up my momentum. I'm going to take Rocky Elm right there, which is a pain, but it's actually nice that he doesn't have leftovers, so he can't get his Sturdy back. Right here, I believe I go in my Donphan, which may seem like a little bit of misplay because he could just be defog and just deal with me perfectly fine. But I need to get my rocks up to be able to get chip on the Rotom Heat. I need chip on the Miltank actually, which is gonna be a pain in this game. You'll see the Rotom Heat. I need chip on, so my Dark EMZ, my +2 Dark EMZ from Thundurus can knock out the Rotom Heat, which is what I need to do because I believe Rotom Heat's gonna be his main switch into my Thundurus anyways. Had I went straight into Thundurus, I could have done that, I guess, but I wouldn't have had the rocks up, so it would have been harder for my Thundurus to deal with the Rotom Heat that way. But right here, he's going to click Taunt, which is a nice play, nice and bring on his part, because, you know, like I said, Skarmory is a pain for Donphan plus Uxie. So right here, did I ever take these? I did not take these off the screen, I'm sorry. Let me get these off the screen. But yeah, right here he's just going to click Stealth Rocks, which is a fair play, because you know Donphan basically isn't going to stay in. I get the aggressive switch in my Volcanion, which is nice. As I am just going to, I believe, fire off a Fire Blast right away. He goes into, actually I throw off a Steam Eruption. Why did I throw off a Steam Eruption? I don't know exactly why I did that. It wasn't the greatest play. If I just Fire Blasted, I guess it did about the same as Steam Eruption to this anyways. Potential Burnout Latios would be nice, I guess, but I guess Miltank maybe I'll switch predicting. I don't know. Brings my Miltank in right now, which I guess he's predicting a double for me. As I am just going to pull a switch out into my Scizor, which actually shows, I guess it was his prediction because he has Fire Punch on this thing, which is pretty nice. I'm going to roost up the damage right here. And he's just going to Fire Punch me again right here. I mean, there was a small chance I was thinking he would probably just switch out, thinking I could Roost on him and he would get some momentum. So I actually want to make the aggressive play right here and click Defog. So he actually stays in and clicks Fire Punch and actually gets the burn right there on the second one, which is really unfortunate because Mega Scizor is definitely going to be crippled a lot now. It cannot deal as much damage to the Shaman as well as the Latios, and I'm very low on health. And he still does a very healthy Skarmory. Right here, I could have clicked U-turn, but I pretty much would have been dead. But I am going to save my Scizor on the back because I still can Roost on a couple things, being the Shaman if it doesn't have Hidden Power Fire, or the Skarmory, so that's what I want to do there. I'm going to pull the switch in my Donphan. Right here, I'm just going to get my Rocks up, which this might be one of the bigger misplays in the match for me, actually, because I guess I could have went back and sacked up my Scizor or something, and then got a better switch into Latios, but ultimately I don't really have the best answers for the Latios outside of my Greninja, and the Greninja gets easily checked by the Shaman, so definitely annoying core to play on this Latios, Shaman, like Skarmory core, especially with the Rotom Heat, so that's definitely difficult. Right here, so I'm just going to click Rocks. My Donphan is very weakened, which is annoying. He could just knock me out right here. I believe I will switch out, saving this, yeah, just because I can take a hit from a non-Life Orb Mienshao, which is nice. If he's like non-Life Orb regen instead of Reckless, which is unlikely, but it's still something I want to keep in the back just in case. As well as my Donphan can roar out a couple things, being like a setup Latios, which is still has potential to. I know he's not Choice Scarf at this point and whatnot because he's changed up his moves, I believe. But right here I go to my Scizor. I can U-turn right here. Why did I U-turn? Can't remember exactly why I U-turned. Maybe I just wanted momentum again, but right here he is going to set up his own rocks, which is perfectly fine by me. I can go to my Thundurus right here, and with the rocks up, this is my chance to just set up an SD, or not an SD, but a Nasty Plot. As he goes into the Rotom, which I figured would be his check, so I get the Nasty Plot up. Right here I can knock him out with the +2 Dark EMZ. I could have went for the I guess I could have went for the Agility right here, but if he was an offensive variant of Rotom and just throw off Overheat, he could knock me out, so that's not something I wanted to risk. That basically lost me at the game right there and then. As I am just going to go for the Dark EMZ. I have Black Hole Eclipse right here, and I do knock him out, which is nice. This annoying thing is out of the way. I'm going to bring Kimono right here, which basically tells me it's Scarf. I figured this thing would be Scarf before I even played this match, but he's going to bring it out. Whether he's bluffing or not, I need to switch out because this is a potential win con of mine. So I'm just going to sack off my Mega Scizor right here to the Rocks. He clicks Stone Edge, so definitely a smart play right there. If he clicked U-turn right there, I guess, like, obviously I could have stayed in, but definitely wasn't something I was willing to risk that early this early in the game. As I am just going to go into Donphan right here, as I think I can take any one hit from this guy. Obviously if he's Stone Edge, so I can definitely take one hit. So I believe I just clicked Roar right here, as I knew the Skarmory was going to come right back in, so I wanted to get the more chip off on it and not let the Skarmory be in here in general. So the Miltank is going to come out. Just in case he thought I would Earthquake right here and then go into Skarm, I wanted to double Roar right here. So he's just going to click Ice Punch. That does very little to me, so I'm just going to click Roar once again. And unfortunately, we pull out the Skarmory, which is like the least likely thing I wanted out. I wouldn't have even minded Shaman at this point, because if it knocked me out, I could have just went with Thundurus and potentially set up again, and maybe nabbed another kill. Maybe. I guess the Shaman could have taken a hit from me, but yeah, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. As right here, I am just going to Hard Switch out, because I believe my Donphan can still obviously take Stone Edges. For example, with the Mean Shao to lock itself in a Stone Edge, I still have my Donphan that can take a hit from that. Stone Edge basically claims a kill on every one of the remaining members of my team, which is really unfortunate. He's going to click Roost right there, gets back up to full. I believe I clicked Fire Blast this time, even though I know Latios is coming out. I just wanted the damage. I do land my Fire Blast right here, which is nice. Right here, I figured this is, since this is like his main switch into Volcanion, he might have Roost on this thing. But I just wanted to weaken this thing even more. Even if he predicted like a double or something, I just wanted to go for an attack. But he shows Roost, which is really unfortunate because this thing is going to stick around. As I'm just going to stay and click Sludge Wave again, I believe, or Fire Blast right there, just in case he made some prediction into Skarmory. I don't remember exactly why I did that, but I'm just going to pull the play off. He's going to go for the Hidden Power, I guess, predicting my, that was not very effective, so that was Hidden Power Fire? I guess Hidden Power Fire predicting my Ninetales, maybe? I don't know. But I am just going to get him low with the Sludge Wave right there. Yeah, Hidden Power Fire makes sense because of my Mega Scizor. I'm going to pull an aggressive switch in my Aladdin, my Thundurus right here. I believe I just clicked Dark Pulse right here. But ultimately, I probably should have just went for the Nasty Plot because I need damage over anything. As he was just going to pull the easy switch into a Shaman. Had I Nasty Plotted up, you're going to see by the damage, that does very little to the Shaman. Very, very little. 17%. So if I Nasty Plotted up, my Dark Pulses could have been doing about 40%, and at that point, I believe I would have been having to go for flinches because I cannot switch around with my team very much more at this point. It's getting very hard with the rocks up. So at this point, right here, I am actually just going to sack off my Donphan, which maybe a little questionable. I could have tried to set up in front of the Shaman because I can outspeed everything with my Thundurus outside of the Mienshao, which I figured out. So if I just tried to set up in front of the Shaman, maybe got a couple Dark Pulse flinches, I could have had a really good shot there. And my Donphan going down means Stone Edge obviously can be a huge threat to me, so my Thundurus basically has to win with an agility up at this point, which is not good. It's going to be hard to do, I mean. So I bring in Ninetales right here. He's going to switch out into the Miltank. Pretty obvious switch right here. I'm just going to set my Aurora Veil. Now I knew there was a pretty good chance he would have Brick Break on this thing, but I was just hoping he didn't at this point. As he showed in his last game, he brought a Azumarill, he had Brick Break on it, so I figured there was a pretty good chance this thing could have Brick Break, and it would do a decent amount to me. I'm just going to set up Nasty Plot because I want to get as much damage on this thing as possible. He does show the Brick Break right there, does a good amount to me. And right here, I do think he's just going to click Brick Break again because on my Aurora Veil and whatnot. So I actually just throw off the Hidden Power Water Go-Get for damage, but he actually throws a Fire Punch off, so had he went for the Brick Break again, it wouldn't have knocked me out, so that was my plan there, and then I would have obviously Aurora Veiled the last turn he went for the kill. But he shot the Fire Punch right there, which is an aggressive play, and he got it, so the crit didn't matter, knocks me out. I do not have Aurora Veil up, so setting up with Thundurus is going to be extremely hard at this point. I go into my Thundurus right here. I'm just going to throw off a Thunderbolt. It brings him down to 6%. I believe it was a roll, unless he was running a little bit more bulk than I thought he was, but unfortunately we do not knock him out right there. It goes for the Ice Punch. Weakens me down to 3%, so at this point, the high jump kick, or he doesn't even need to risk the Stone Edge from Mienshao anymore. He can just click U-turn on this, so at that point, I believe it's basically game, as Mienshao can pretty much clean up, as we're both going to go down to Hail right there, so that, me not killing the Miltank actually, I mean, it sucked, but like I said, it might not have even been a roll in like anybody's favor to win that. He might have just had a little bit more bulk than I expected. But right here, he's going to bring in Mienshao, and he doesn't even need to click high jump kick right here, just click U-turn, which is a smart play. It brings me down to 8%, basically sacking out a Skarmory right here because I clicked Hydro Pump. So down goes the Skarmory. He can bring Mienshao right back in and click U-turn once again, which he goes for. Knocks me out. Volcanion is left against 3 members, as the Latios can come out, and as you've seen before, Latios can pretty much 1v1 the Volcanion down, so he's going to go for the Giant Pulse, just knocks me out straight away. Does not matter. I have no item, so that's going to be game. That's a 3-0 in Fantasy's favor, as we do exit the tournament at round 16 of the round of 16. But yeah, that was my first time in an 8-mon tourney. I was definitely pretty happy with the way I played, I guess. Made it to final 16, which was better than I expected, I guess. But I still wanted to make it farther, but wasn't ultimately. This is my first time using Aurora Veil as well. I wasn't a huge fan of it, as some of the mons on my team, like, I wasn't very good with, I guess, some of the abusers. Like, I love Zygarde, but I felt like Zygarde on this team was not very good. I didn't use it good, at least. I love Mega Scizor. I didn't feel like Mega Scizor was very good on this team. Volcanion, like, I don't want to say this, but I don't really recommend Volcanion. It's just not a very good mon in my opinion. But it does have Water Absorb, which comes in handy a lot of times. It's 4 times resist fire, so it does have some good things about it, but it's not really a huge fan of it. But some of the ones I do really like are, I like Greninja a lot. Greninja is something I really like a lot now. Obviously, I still like Mega Scizor and Zygarde. Uxie's a really cool mon. I brought a couple other games you saw, so I really enjoy those. But yeah, that was basically my experience with this team. It was a pretty fun team overall, though. I do like Veil, so that's gonna be it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if new. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Peace.